When you are taking standardized tests like the SOL, it's always important to pay attention to the order the events in the story are happening in. This is called the sequence. The only thing that sequence deals with is the order of events. Most things that we read are told to us in a particular order. Directions are listed in a series of steps. Movies tell stories in the order the events happened. Think about 5 things you did last week and list them in order. This is sequence. So how do you find sequence? You look for clue words like first, second, and third, or date and time stamps like yesterday, last month, this morning, etc. Many sequence questions will ask you to drag and drop events into a graphic organizer like the one you see on this slide. It's important that you place the events into the graphic organizer in the order they happen. Pause the video and read this slide to yourself. Here are some tips for figuring out the sequence. Make sure you heed my warnings. Sometimes events are told out of order and you have to figure it out using the clue words to help. Always pay attention to the clue words. Maybe even highlight or underline them as you are reading. But what if there are no clue words? Think about what you already know about the order in which events would normally or logically happen. Think about how things work in real life. What should you do when you see a question about sequence on your SOL test? Even if you think you're 100% sure of the order of events, go back and double check. Go back to the passage and locate each of the answer choices. Highlight and number them in order once you find them. Check your answer against the highlighted events in the passage to make sure you haven't mixed any of it up. Always go back to the passage for every single sequence question. These answers are in the passage and should be easy to find if you take the time to go back. How can you recognize a sequence question? Look at the question and think, is this question asking me about the order of events in the passage? Some common question stems are provided to the left. Take a second, pause the video, and read through them. Now let's practice. Take a second and read this passage about Peru's Inca Indians to yourself. Pause the video. Okay, now that you've read the passage, let's look at the question. When did Thomas Jefferson serve French fries at Monticello? Read through the answer choices, locate them all in the passage, and decide which answer choice is the best. Make sure to write down your answers to bring them to class to get credit for doing this assignment. Using the same passage we just read, answer the second question. What happened last? Make sure you locate the events in the passage and check your answer choices against it. Let's try another one. Which of the following happened after 1860? Use the passage beside this to answer this question. And finally, one more. Same passage. What happened first? Check your answer choices against the passage to make sure you are choosing the right one. Once you have completed these 4 questions, please bring them to class with you so we can discuss them.